Sat Asan Mishra Yonishu. Prabhuji. Can someone recite? Tena samsara padavim avaso abhyedi anivrta prasangaiki karma doshaihi sadasan mishra yonishu tena samsara padavim avaso abhyedi anivrtaha prasangikai karma doshai sadasan mishra yonishu tena samsara padavim avaso abhyedi anivrta prasangaiki karma doshaiki sadasan mitra yonishu. Mataji. Tena samsara padavim avaso abhyedi anivrta prasangikai amakarma doshai sat asan mitra yonishu. Word by word meaning. Tena, by this, samsara of repeated birth and death, padavim, the path, avasha, helplessly, abhyedi, he undergoes, anivrta, discontent, prasangikaihi, resulting from association with material nature, karma doshai, by faulty action, sat, good, asat, bad, mishra, mixed, yonishu, in different species of life. Translation by His Grace Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki. The conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and lower, because of his association with modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. Purport by Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki. Here the word karma doshai means by faulty action. This refers to any activity, good or bad, performed in this material world. They are all contaminated, faulty actions because of material association. The foolish conditioned soul may think that he is offering charity by opening hospitals for material benefit or by opening an educational institution for material education. But he does not know that all such work is also faulty because it will not give him relief from the process of transmigration from one body to another. It is clearly stated here, Sat Asan Mishra Yonishu. This means that one may take birth in a very high family, or he may take his birth in higher planets among demigods. For these so-called pious activities in the material world. But this work is also faulty because it does not give liberation. To take birth in a nice place or a higher family does not mean that one avoids undergoing the material tribulations, the pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. A conditioned soul, under the spell of material nature, cannot understand that any action he performs for sense gratification is faulty, and that only these activities in devotional service to the Lord can give him release from the reactions of faulty activities. Because he does not choose such faulty activities, he has to change two different bodies, some high and some low. That is called samsara padavim, which means this material world from which there is no release. One who desires material liberation has to turn his activities to devotional service. There is no alternative. Prabhupada nicely explained the entire verse in the purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Shakshur Unmilidam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamahyam Tatadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Sagagana Ragunan Tanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Sidancha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gobesha Gobika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhashya Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayed Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavadi Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavadi Naishtike Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Koba Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Now, this was 327.3. Explained the faulty work, how we are getting birth again and again, and what is the solution to come out of that. Even if you look at Bhagavad Gita, the first 6 chapter explains karma, yoga to bhakti. The second 6 chapter explaining pure devotional service. And the last 6 chapter, 13 to 18, knowledge one can gain and understand how one can entangled in this material world. What is material nature? And with this understanding, from jnana to the perfection of bhakti. This is bit summary. Coming back to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, the nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. Arjuna asking in the first verse of 13.1, Krishna, 5 questions. What are they? Prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajnanam evacha edat veditum ichchami jnanam jneyam cha kesava. Prakritim, what is material nature? Kshetram, next is Purusham. Purusham, the living entity who comes and try to enjoy. Third one, Kshetram, this material body and the material world where the living entity act. Kshetrajna, the knower of the body, this field. Jnanam, knowledge, knowing the above, their distinction, and also explain the process of knowledge. Jneyam, ultimate goal of the knowledge. Krishna says in the next verse, Itam shariram kaunteya kshetram idi abhidhyate edat yoveti tat edat yoveti tam prahur kshetrajna idi tatvidaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called a field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Who is the knower? The soul and the super soul. Soul know only very little about only this body, but super knows everything. This sloka is explained how the faulty activity which leads to transmigration, one birth to another birth, that is, we are in the cycle process of birth and death again and again. Krishna also explained in Bhagavad Gita 2.13, Dehinosmin yada dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tada dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyadi. As embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body to death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. So, this material nature is eternal. We know when we studied Bhagavad Gita, we talk about 5 things. Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, finally Karma. Except Karma, all 4 are eternal. You don't have any control. It's all eternal only. Only Karma, the action which is in your hand, whatever you do, it is affect you. Rest of them are eternal. Now, what makes us to have a cycle of birth and death again and again? What is the key factor? Why we are doing faulty activity? The human form of life influenced by the 3 modes of action. So, the 3 modes of material nature is affecting us to come again and again. See, if you ask somebody, Prabhuji, we have some service tomorrow, would you like to come? Sorry Prabhuji, रात को 12 बजे सो गया, 4 बजे बहुत मुश्किल है. I can't get up at 4 o'clock, I can't come for service. Don't mistake me. That the body is trained like that. Some people can't sleep in the morning. They have to get up and then they have to do routine work. So how we are training our body, our mind, that makes our life direct towards the devotional path. So, he has the choice of completely get out of faulty action which he has performed, which is karma doshai by fault action. This is important point, and the key point has been discussed in this verse. How he can rectify the faulty activities. Yes, I know that this faulty activity, even if I do good thing, also is a good karma. That because of the good karma, you will get a birth again in the higher family or in a higher planet. Still, you have to undergo the birth and death. I used to say, like, I am an accountant. I say that it is you got to tally both sukarma and akarma, everything together. If it balance sheet tallied, then only you can go. Your cycle is over. Otherwise, it is not over. Even if you have too much of sukar, still you got to take a birth in a good family like that. Here, Prabhupada explained in a couple of Prabhupada lecture I listened. He mentioned very nicely how you can get out of that. Only, he given 2 points. One is pure devotional service, and second, accept Guru Maharaj, take the shelter of Guru, and then follow his instruction word by word. By this culture, you can get out of the faulty action, whatever you did. Yes, you did faulty action, even if it is a good thing also, if it is, you have to get the birth again in a higher family and good status. But that doesn't mean that you will not go through the process of birth, the old age, disease, all everything you have to go through. So to avoid everything and finish it off and no need to burn again, and you want to go to kingdom of God, then take shelter of Guru Maharaj, follow his instruction word by word, and do pure devotional service, then certainly you will reach the kingdom of God. There are n number of verses, it is there in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. For that I will explain one by one. In 7.14, what Krishna mentioned, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Eva Ye Prapatyande Mayam Etam Tarantite. What does that mean? Krishna very nicely explained in this verse. This divine energy of mine, consisting of 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond this 3 mode. So it is very, very important. This is another 3rd point. Prabhupada also mentioned this one. Surrender unto Godhead. Unless you surrender unto God, you can't achieve pure devotional service. Nothing in your hand. See, we can say that, oh, I did morning this work, this cooking, that thing. It is not me is doing. The work has been done by the material nature. We are only the actor. We are doing acting, that's it. But the work is all completed by the material nature. Material nature is the doer, not the individual person. We are not the proprietor for anything. Krishna is the proprietor. Now we are discussing what is the Canto 3, chapter 27. In the previous chapter, Kapila Muni explained the fundamentals of material creation, how the different elements are formed, primary creation by Lord, how the living entity getting entangled through ahankara. But in this chapter, Lord explained how the living entity absorbed into material activity. Okay, tomorrow iPhone 14 is coming, new Apple laptop is coming, Tesla new car is introduced. We are getting absorbed, okay, something coming new. Oh, I want to see that, I want to see that. That is where our mind is tuned to it. What is coming next? What is next product is coming, like that. So, Kapila Muni explained how we are absorbed into material activity. New things coming, oh, I want this, I want that. At the end of the previous chapter, Kapila Deva concluded that simply by beginning the discharge of devotional service, one can attain detachment and transcendental knowledge for understanding the science of God. Here, there is two, my father always said two words. One is attachment and detachment. When we were doing my studies, maybe at, around 2022, doing a chartered accountancy course, very busy in studying. My father used to go to Vishnu temple and do cleaning and other thing. When the culture is in the village, when the old people doing some work, the youngster has to help. So I may be sitting next to somewhere else, I am studying, and some people passing through. Hey Rama, your daddy is cleaning there, why you are sitting here? Go and help him. So I would go and help. I say, why you are doing this? I have a lot of work to do. Yeah, I can go. Rama, you don't know where to attach, where to detach. One day you will come to know. If you attach more to the devotional service, automatically the detachment in material life will happen automatically. Detachment, I want to detach from this, I want to detach from that, it will not happen anyway. It won't happen. Somebody will come and talk to you, do this, do that and all. But how the material detachment will happen? Only by attachment towards the devotional service. Unless and until you are attached to devotional service, unless and until you attach to the Krishna, the detachment from material life will not happen at all. He used to say when I was maybe 23, 24 at the age, very young age. Then also he said, Rama, one day you will realize, at the time I may not be available, but think of me like that. So what I am saying is, here in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, verse number 7, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita. When we start doing the devotional service, what is the byproduct? Bhakti. Bhakti will come automatically. So it is a byproduct. No need to word bhakti. So the thing is, now where you have to attach towards a devotional service. Once you attach to devotional service, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7 say, you can automatically get bhakti. Then automatically your material detachment happen. There is no need to think about material detachment. Understand the super soul is the cause of everything and able to meditate on super soul. Surrender unto him, he is the master. In the previous verse, when the soul is under the spell of material nature and false ego, identifying his body as the self, he becomes absorbed in material activities. And by influence of false ego, he thinks that he is the proprietor of everything. See in the previous verse how the false ego comes into place. We say that we are the proprietor. Once you think that you are the proprietor, ahankara, the false ego, will be the peak. That's why Prabhupada said, we are servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. Dasanu dasan. We never ever be a proprietor. Proprietor is only one, which is Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor and we are the servant. So once we got that mentality that we are the servant, we are the servant of the servant of the servant, dasanu dasan mentality, automatically the proprietorship will be go away. I want this, I want that, I want this, I have this, I have this. You are not the owner. Even if you own a house, the house is owned by bank, your bank home loan is there. Even then it is owned by Krishna. All the things is created by Krishna, and Krishna is the only owner. That mindset comes, then ahankara, false ego, will go away. In 3.27, I am not the doer, only the material nature is the doer. Simply following the material nature is dictating to me, which is from verse 3.27. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaka ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are actually carried out by the material nature. In Bhagavad Gita 18.55, one can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, only through devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanadi. The object of service is mam, Krishna. Understand Krishna in his personal form, with his internal energy, his external energy, his expansion, what we discussed in 7.4, and his incarnation. There are many diverse departments, the knowledge in understanding Krishna. What will happen when we understand and glorify the Lord? I did by doing proportional service, glorify the God. What will happen? The answer is there in Bhagavad Gita, verse number 4.9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvadaha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam yeti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take this birth again in this material world, but attain my eternal abode. O Krishna, O Arjuna. Those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth, death, and old age, this process again and again in the material world. Krishna clearly said in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. In a couple of interviews, Prabhupada said, what is the way in which you can understand Krishna? There are a number of verses are there, but Prabhupada said only 2 points. Only by devotional service you can see the Krishna. Is there any other way? No other way. Only devotional service, only pure devotional service is the way in which you can understand Krishna. In short, the sum and substance of spiritual advancement is we need to get rid of anarthas in our heart by strictly adhering to the instructions of the spiritual master, word by word. Then it becomes more meaningful. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev. Here, the main thing what we discussed, karma doshai, faulty action, how it is happening. Even if you do the good activities, you are getting birth again the higher planets. How you can come out of all faulty activities by doing a devotional service, taking shelter of Guru Maharaj, following his instruction word by word. This is the only way to get out of faulty action, karma doshai. Other thing, Prabhupada explained the entire verse clearly in the purport itself that even if you do a lot of good activities, still it is a pious activity. We won't say no for the, it is pious activities, still it is faulty because you will get birth again and again. Maybe you will get a birth in the higher planet or in the higher family, with wealthy family, but still you have to undergo birth, death, old age, all the things. So, take shelter of Guru Maharaj, follow his instruction word by word, and do the tour service. That is the only way. Srila Prabhupada ki. Happy to take any questions. Yes, Prabhu. Mm-hmm. So he's asking a question about if the spirit soul fall down, whether he has to go through all the 8.4 million species life. No, everyone is not going for 8.4 million species of life. According to your action, your karma. See, you remember that, I don't know who asked questions, maybe a couple of weeks ago, chapter, third canto, chapter 26 and verse number 36. I think it is about the thinking. How the thinking affect your destiny. Like the destiny will be designed based on your action and your thinking. Suppose a person want to eat a lot of food, then he may be born for a restaurant family. He can eat whatever food he want to. If some people is interested in alcohol, maybe they will be in the alcohol area. Birth will be like that. If somebody want to eat meat, and they will be born to a butcher, like that. And it is not that you have to born for 8.4 million pieces of life. No. According to your karma, even for the same birth, maybe 10 times, same human form or name, same animal form, it is not necessary that he has to go through all the 8.4 million pieces of life. No. It is basically what you are thinking and your action that determine your destiny, which is clearly mentioned in 3:26 and 36. I think Prabhu taken the class on the day. I think 4-5 weeks before. One Saturday. Yes, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Prahlad Prabhu. There in Vaikuntha you can see the Krishna.
The deity form is an expansion of Krishna where you can see Krishna's flow material senses. Because we have material senses, and material senses have limitation. And with limitations, only we can see the form of it. But when you go back to the spiritual world, you're not stuck with a deity form. You have spiritual eyes, the senses, where you can see Krishna. So in its original form.
Which is correct. So we are in the material world. Our material form is totally different from the spiritual form. You will have the spiritual eyes, and Radha Gopinath is nothing. You can see the Krishna. It is none other than Radha Gopinath. And another thing, actually, Prabhu is become more Bhakta Vasalya. Like one, remember in Hanuman asked Krishna that I want to see the Rama and Sita form, and then Krishna did for him once together. I want to see Rama and Sita, and Krishna did once. Somewhere I listened to one of the lecture how Hanuman is more attached to Rama and Sita form. It's a Bhakta Vasalya. Like that, Prabhu is more attached to Radha Gopinath. you will get darshan if you ask Krishna that you want to visualize Radha Gopinath. Yes, Krishna will arrange for you. Certainly. It is there, one of the lecture I listened, that how Hanuman asked once Krishna that I want to see the Rama and Sita form. Krishna did, appeared in Rama and Sita form. Hare Krishna. See, we have to understand a couple of things in this aspect. He is asking why we have to fasting and what is the necessity, what is the importance. The thing is, how the fasting comes into play. See, on Ekadashi day, we spend more time to discuss on Krishna Katha. And you will observe in the talking about Krishna Katha and reading Krishna prayer and reciting Krishna's prayer. If you engage your time to do on Krishna's activities or devotional activities, then obviously you may not feel hungry. And second thing, scientifically it is proven that fasting is good for the health. Now if you go to YouTube, people are mentioning that intermittent fasting, you finish your dinner at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, wake up morning, 10 o'clock you can have breakfast. That way you have 15 hours of gap. The intermittent fasting on a regular basis. So the fasting in every fortnight on Ekadashi day, it is extremely good for your body and good for your health. And the purpose of fasting is that you spend that time to discuss on Krishna Katha, recite on Krishna and all Krishna related activity. So that is the purpose. And some people, due to health reason, if they want to eat, yes, you can eat. There are no restriction that you should not eat. There are some food you can eat, like fruits and some of the morayo, like kind of a thing, grains you can still eat. People are eating even that one of Ekadashi food like that they are doing. But the ultimate intention is you have to do chant and discuss Krishna Katha and read about Krishna books. That is the ultimate aim. Once you spend on that, and you may not feel hungry at all. Even sometimes you can't able to stop. If you read and observe in what you are reading in a systematic way, you may not in a position to get out from your desk. You all keep on reading. I experienced a number of time when you started reading, I can't able to get up. I want to finish this. I want to finish next. I want to finish next, like that. You will be happy only after finishing everything. So that is the ultimate intention. It is not that you have to prepare Ekadashi means different food. No. It is, the purpose is Krishna Katha. Spend your time on Krishna Katha. So the thing is, we have to, on a regular basis, we have to read, we have to recite. Prabhupada said every day, you have to read at least 1 hour, and you have to chant, and you have to recite some sloka. It is a must. So, Ekadashi day should be more than that. That is the reason. Hmm. That's true. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yes. Extremely good for the health. Actually, fasting, scientifically it is proven, every fortnight if you are not eating, the bad cell, the good cell is there, and then unwanted things in your body, it's eaten by the bad cell, and your body is clean. Someday I am not able to explain in medical terms, but fasting is, in medical terms, is really good for your body. Any other question? गंधराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की। हरे कृष्णा।